price argument of Cerulere, where the Lego sun bounces off the tin roofs, Olamide sat hunched over her sewing machine. The rhythmic taka-taka-taka was the heartbeat of her studio. She wasn't just joining fabrics, she was weaving a dream out of hand-woven aso-oke and intricate lace. Her eyes were sharp, scanning every seam for perfection. This dress was for the Owambe of the season, and Olamide's reputation was stitched into every fold. Olamide stood up and draped the garment over a mannequin. It was a masterpiece of structural design. The sleeves flared like the wings of a phoenix, and the bodice was encrusted with thousands of tiny glass beads. She had spent 3 sleepless nights on the beadwork alone, her fingers sore and pricked. She took a deep breath, admiring the way the light danced off the stones. This wasn't just tailoring, it was engineering. The door to the studio swung open, and the scent of expensive perfume flooded the room before the person even stepped inside. Mrs. Balagun arrived like a whirlwind, her phone pressed to her ear and her assistant, Kemi, trailing behind with 3 shopping bags. Mrs. Balagun didn't offer a greeting. She simply pointed a manicured finger at the dress and nodded once. Kemi hurried forward to clear a space on the cutting table for her boss's handbag. "Olamide, I hope you have finished," Mrs. Balagun said, finally hanging up. She walked around the mannequin, squinting. She touched the lace with a heavy hand, pulling at a bead to test its strength. Olamide stepped forward, her heart racing. "It is ready, Ma. We used the premium silk lining you requested, and the hand beading took extra time to ensure nothing falls off during the dancing." Mrs. Balagun hummed, a sound that wasn't quite a compliment. Kemi reached into her bag and pulled out a small leather ledger, ready to record the final details. Mrs. Balagun turned away from the dress, smoothing her own hair. "It's okay," she said carelessly. "Pack it up, Kemi. Give her the balance we discussed." Kemi looked at the invoice Olamide had placed on the table and hesitated, her eyes darting between the paper and her boss. The atmosphere in the small room suddenly felt very heavy. Olamide cleared her throat. "Madam, the invoice includes the additional costs for the Swarovski crystals and the rush fee we agreed upon last week." Mrs. Balagun stopped fixing her hair and turned slowly. Her expression had shifted from cold indifference to sharp annoyance. "Rush fee? Between me and you? Olamide, do you know how many people I have referred to this small shop? You should be giving me a discount, not adding more money." "But Ma," Olamide began, her voice steady despite the tremor in her hands. "The crystals alone cost 30% more than the budget. I showed you the receipts from the importer, and my girls worked overnight for 3 days." Mrs. Balagun laughed, a sharp, dry sound. "Overnight? For a dress? My dear, you are just a tailor. Don't try to price yourself like you are a surgeon. I can get this same style at Tejuosho Market for half this price." Mrs. Balagun stepped closer, her voice dropping to a manipulative, honey-sweet tone. "Olamide, look at you. You are a talented girl. Don't let greed ruin your business. If I pay this extra money, I won't be able to tell my friends to come here. Think of the exposure I am giving you. You want to be successful, don't you? Be reasonable. Just take the initial deposit as full payment, and let's be friends." Olamide looked at the dress, then at her sore, bandaged fingertips. She thought of the electricity bills, the generator fuel, and the skills she had spent years honing. She took a long, slow breath and stood tall, her shoulders squared. "Madam, exposure does not buy fuel for my generator. This is not just a style from the market. This is my art, my time, and my sweat. If the price is too high, then the value of my work is not for you. I cannot release the dress for less than it's worth." Silence stretched in the studio, broken only by the hum of a distant car horn. Mrs. Balagun stared at Olamide, searching for a sign of weakness. Seeing none, she let out a frustrated huff and snatched her purse from the table. She pulled out her gold card and slammed it down. "Fine. Take it, but don't expect me to be so generous next time." Olamide took the card with a polite nod. "Thank you, Ma. I'll prepare your receipt." As Mrs. Balagun stormed out with the dress, Olamide knew she hadn't just won an argument. She had claimed her value.